Before the world wakes up and tries to define you, speak life into yourself. Every morning is a sacred doorway to your destiny. Don't walk through it with doubt. Walk through it with intention, power, and truth. Your mornings are not just the beginning of the day. They are the blueprint for everything that follows. The first thoughts you feed your mind are seeds. Plant negativity and chaos grows. Plant division and chaos grow, but plant wisdom, discipline, gratitude, and belief, and life begins to shift in your favor. What you say to yourself before the world says anything is the most important conversation you'll have all day. Is the root of outer discipline. So before you pick up your phone, before you look in the mirror with judgment, look into your soul with clarity. These 13 truths are not just affirmations. They are weapons. There are safe words. There are Tell yourself these 13 powerful things every morning and watch your life evolve from within. Number 1. I am in control of how I respond today. This single sentence holds the key to unlocking emotional discipline, inner peace, and unshakable strength in a world that constantly throws challenges, distractions, and unexpected storms our way. Every morning as you rise, before the rush begins, remind yourself that while you may not have control over the weather, the traffic, the behavior of others, or the events that unfold throughout the day, you always have control over how you respond. You are not a puppet to circumstance. You are the master of your reactions. This truth is not about denying emotion or pretending to be unaffected. It is about recognizing that your greatest power lies in how you choose to direct that emotion. Do you let anger run wild and control your decisions? Or do you acknowledge it, breathe, and choose to respond from wisdom? Do you let fear paralyze you? Or do you let it sharpen your focus? Life will test you. People will misunderstand you. Plans will fail. Delays will frustrate you. And criticism may try to shake your confidence. But none of that has the power to define your day unless you hand over the keys. Your power lies in the pause, in that sacred space between what happens to you and what you decide to do next. The response you choose in that moment will either build your character or break your peace. And each time you choose calm over chaos, growth over grudge, clarity over reaction, you reclaim a little more of your freedom. This mindset isn't just for the good days. It is especially for the hard ones. Because those are the days when the weak version of you tries to rise, and it is in that moment that you must speak this truth into yourself. I am not a slave to my emotions. I am the commander of my spirit. When you own your response, you own your destiny. You become someone who doesn't just survive the day, you sculpt it with intention. Every choice becomes a brushstroke on the canvas of your life. So even if the world around you feels chaotic, know this. Inner peace is not the absence of storms, but the ability to stay grounded through them. And that grounding begins with a conscious decision each morning to be the driver, not the passenger. And an impact to say with conviction, I am in control of how I respond today. And to live that truth with discipline, grace, and strength. Number 2. I don't chase energy. I attract it by who I become. These words hold the secret to authentic transformation, inner alignment, and the magnetic power that comes from living in truth. Most people spend their lives chasing approval, chasing love, chasing success, chasing the next high of external validation. They run toward things they think will complete them, yet they feel more exhausted, anxious, and disconnected with each step. But chasing energy is a sign that you are operating from lack. It means you believe something outside of you is more powerful than what's within you. The truth is, the most powerful energy in the universe doesn't chase, it radiates. The sun doesn't run after planets, its gravity is so strong that everything revolves around it. Likewise, when you become deeply rooted in your values, when you embody discipline, peace, clarity, and purpose, you stop needing to beg for attention or force your way through doors. You begin to attract what is aligned with who you truly are. People can feel it. They are drawn not to what you say, but to your frequency, your consistency, your integrity, your calm confidence. You no longer have to plead to be seen, heard, or respected, because you live in such a way that those things naturally gravitate toward you. The energy you give off becomes a mirror of your internal state. If you are desperate, you attract chaos. If you are grounded, you attract stability. If you walk with purpose, the right people, opportunities, and experiences begin to show up. Not by accident, but because you have become the kind of person who is ready for them. This is the power of alignment. You don't get what you want by trying to control everything or everyone. You get what you're truly ready for by becoming it from the inside out. So ask yourself daily, am I becoming the person who is worthy of the life I say I want? Am I embodying the patience, discipline, love, and confidence that the next level of my journey requires? Because when you stop chasing and start becoming, your entire life changes. You move from desperation to destiny, from grasping to grounding. You no longer exhaust yourself trying to convince others of your worth. Instead, your presence speaks so loudly, your silence becomes magnetic. That's when the universe starts to respond differently. That's when alignment meets opportunity and flow replaces force. So rise each morning and remind yourself, today I don't chase, I attract. Not by force, but by the unwavering power of who I choose to become. Number 3, my past is a lesson, not a prison. These 9 words can break chains, shatter guilt, and unlock a new identity, but only if you truly believe them. Too many people wake up each morning shackled not by what is, but by what was. They replay old mistakes, cling to regrets, and let past failures define who they are today. But the past, no matter how painful or shameful, is not meant to hold you hostage. It's a teacher, not a tormentor. Every scar carries a story, and every misstep carries a message, if you're willing to learn. What happened to you or what you did in the past was real, yes, but it is not a life sentence. You were not meant to carry guilt and shame forever. You were meant to grow. You are not the same person you were when you made those choices. You have more awareness now, more strength, more wisdom. And the proof of your growth is that you can look back with understanding instead of self-hatred. Growth doesn't mean you erase the past. It means you rise above it. It means you take the lessons and leave behind the chains. Too many people let a chapter in their story convince them the book is over. But as long as you have breath, your future is unwritten, and you are the author. You can't rewrite the beginning, but you can change how the story ends. Stop allowing the echo of old failures to speak louder than your current progress. Stop believing that just because something happened, it has to define who you are forever. The past happened to shape you, not to sentence you. Real freedom begins the moment you decide to treat your past as a stepping stone, not a stumbling block. It becomes your strength when you use it to help others, to build empathy, to cultivate resilience. You are not broken, you are becoming. And the pain you survived has given you a deeper capacity to lead, to love, and to live with purpose. So stand tall in the mirror each morning and remind yourself, my past is a lesson, not a prison. I will not wear shame as my identity. I am not my mistakes. I am not my trauma. I am not my failures. I am a student of life, and everything I've endured has prepared me for everything I am becoming. That is not denial, that is redemption, that is power. My past is a lesson, not a prison. These words are a reminder that no matter what you've been through, no matter how dark the season, how painful the mistake, or how heavy the regret, you are not bound to relive your yesterdays. The past is not a life sentence. It is a classroom. It is not here to cage you, but to carve you into someone wiser, deeper, and stronger than before. So many people carry the weight of what once was, dragging it like a chain behind them into every relationship, every opportunity, and every new day. They let guilt whisper lies that they'll never be enough, that they've ruined their chances, that redemption is reserved for someone else. But those are illusions, stories created by fear. The truth is this: every wound, every failure, every regret is a part of your story, but it is not the whole story. You are allowed to grow past the old version of yourself. You are allowed to change, to evolve, to start again. Growth is not denying the past, it is rising from it. It is saying, yes, I've been broken, but I'm rebuilding. It is choosing to look at your scars not as symbols of shame, but as marks of survival. What happened yesterday may have hurt you, but it also taught you. It showed you what not to tolerate, who you can trust, what matters most, and how deep your strength runs. If you're still here, still breathing, then that pain did not defeat you, it prepared you. The key is to stop revisiting the scene of your suffering and start honoring the strength it took to survive it. You are not stuck in that chapter unless you keep rereading it. Forgive yourself. Not because what happened was okay, but because you deserve to be free. Free to walk forward without the chains of shame or the noise of old voices in your head. Your past may explain how you got here, but it does not get to decide where you go next. That power belongs to you now. So every morning, declare it with certainty. My past is a lesson, not a prison. I walk forward with wisdom, not with chains. I am not who I was, I am who I choose to become. When you say this and believe it, you take your power back from the hands of regret and place it firmly into the hands of purpose. In this moment, when you say this and believe it, you take your power back from the hands of regret and place it firmly into the hands of purpose. And that is where real transformation begins. Number 4, I protect my peace like it's sacred, because it is. In a world that constantly demands your attention, your energy, your presence, and your reaction, protecting your peace is not just an act of self-care, it is an act of survival. Peace is not the absence of noise or conflict. It is the presence of inner alignment, clarity, and grounded strength in the middle of chaos. It is the still voice that says, I am enough, when the world screams for more. But peace doesn't just happen. You must guard it like treasure, because that's what it is. Not everyone deserves access to your mind, your time, or your emotions. Some people will bring drama into your life just to escape the mess in their own. Some situations will drain you, not because you're weak, but because you're too open. That's why boundaries are necessary, not because you are cruel, but because you are finally learning to be kind to yourself. Every time you say yes to something that disrupts your peace, you say no to your inner vulnerability. And every time you say no to something that threatens your balance, you say yes to growth, clarity, and emotional maturity. Peace is the foundation upon which all good things are built. Focus, love, health, creativity, and meaningful relationships. Without it, everything else becomes noise. So stop explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Stop engaging in arguments just to prove your worth. Walk away from conversations that leave you feeling anxious, heavy, or disrespected. Detach from environments that feed your insecurities or poke at your wounds. Protecting your peace means you trust your energy enough to know where it flourishes and where it withers. It means you no longer pour endlessly into others while your own spirit is starving. It means you allow yourself silence without guilt, solitude without shame, and rest without apology. The version of you who honors peace is the version of you who sees your time as precious, your mental space as valuable, and your spirit as sacred. So every morning, remind yourself, I protect my peace like it's sacred, because it is. And from that place of stillness, make decisions. Speak from that place, love from that place, lead from that place. Because a peaceful mind creates a powerful life. And when you guard your peace, you don't just heal yourself, you change the energy of every space you enter. Number 5, I don't need validation to know my value. This powerful truth, when fully understood, becomes the unshakable foundation of inner freedom and confidence. And then this poem is the piece of energy that becomes the piece of energy that becomes the piece of energy. So, in the summary, mindfulness, Eidenbeck, in a society driven by likes, shares, comments, applause, and public approval, it's easy to fall into the trap of measuring your worth by how others respond to you. But the moment you rely on validation to feel seen, you hand over control of your self-worth to people who may never fully understand your heart, your journey, or your purpose. True confidence is not loud, desperate, or attention-seeking. It is silent, stable, and rooted. It's the quiet knowing that you are worthy even when no one is clapping. It's the courage to walk your path without waiting for someone else to say, "You're good enough." When you no longer need others to approve of who you are, you become powerful in a way that can't be manipulated. You stop shrinking yourself to fit in. You stop altering your truth just to be liked. You stop exhausting yourself chasing acceptance in spaces where you were never meant to belong. You begin to value authenticity over applause, self-respect over popularity, and purpose over performance. Your value is not up for debate. It doesn't fluctuate with someone's mood, opinion, or inability to see your worth. You were valuable the moment you were born, not because of what you do or how perfectly you perform, but because of who you are. That value isn't given to you by others, so it cannot be taken away by their rejection or silence. When you affirm this truth daily, I don't need validation to know my value, you anchor your identity in something eternal, not external. You reclaim your power from every person, situation, or system that tried to make you doubt your worth. You free yourself from the emotional roller coaster of approval and rejection, and in that freedom you rise. You create, you lead, you love, you live, not to impress, but to express, not to be seen, but to see clearly. So let today be the day you stop seeking mirrors in other people's opinions and start seeing your reflection through the lens of truth, growth, and grace. Your light doesn't need permission to shine, and the world doesn't need to validate your value for you to walk in it. You are enough. You always were. Now go live like it, with your head held high and your spirit unshaken. Number 6, discomfort is my ally. It means I'm expanding. This truth is one of the hardest to embrace, yet it is the key to every breakthrough, every transformation, and every level of growth that leads you closer to your purpose. We are conditioned to believe that comfort equals safety, and that anything unfamiliar or difficult should be avoided. But growth doesn't live in comfort, it lives in the stretch, the resistance, the moments where everything inside you wants to retreat, but your spirit whispers, keep going. Discomfort is not a sign that something is wrong. It's a sign that something is shifting. It is the fire that burns away weakness, the pressure that shapes resilience, the silence that strengthens patience, and the weight that builds spiritual muscle. Just like a body must experience tension and strain to grow stronger, your mind and soul must be challenged to evolve. When you start to feel uncomfortable, when your routines are disrupted, when you're learning something new, when you're stepping into uncertainty, that's the space where transformation begins. That's the edge of your current identity, calling you into the next version of yourself. It's where fear tries to speak loudest, but where courage gets a chance to rise. Every time you lean into discomfort instead of